All right, up next, we have Amma Yassin. She is a Harvard-trained storyteller, educator, trainer, and attorney. She speaks and trains on issues of personal and community empowerment, diversity, inclusion, leadership development, Title IX, and eliminating rape culture. So I do want to put out a disclaimer that this is a very sensitive topic that she's going to be presenting on. And as she enters the stage, she asks for a moment of silence, so please, no applause.
Do you know what rape feels like? Do you know what it's like to have your house silenced by a fist? When you're rushed into, pressed down on, and opened up by a knife so strong, so thick, so brilliant, that your inside no longer exists, and your strength against inside bleed out into a loud yell that only you and others like you can hear. And when you want it to stop, but it keeps trudging, moving at its own pace, rate, beat, without even a brief glance at your dead eyes and owl face. And it's moving so fast, so slow, carrying on like a new world ship, just coming and coming, going and going, screaming and screaming until it stops. But no, it doesn't stop. Because then, out of nowhere, from no one, he keeps damaging your petals with his, you don't even want to say it. Name it, remember it, own it, because it was never yours to own, but yet it's in front of you, on top of you, in back of you, annihilating, excruciating, crushing, killing what you once thought was yours. You wouldn't know what it's like to have a firecracker blow up inside you, to celebrate somebody else's freedom, to cry out, to be stamped out, and to have everyone look away. Thank you. So my name is Amma Yassin. What I just performed is a monologue from a multi-dimensional performance piece that you can bring to your school called A Long Walk Home. It's written by Dr. Salome Shattullett. As was said, I am a storyteller and educator and attorney. And 8 months ago, I quit my job as senior counsel of Citigroup Inc. because I felt a higher being calling me to use my work, to use my artistry for issues of personal empowerment, for issues surrounding sexual violence, issues surrounding bullying. And so, for me, one reason why the issue of sexual violence hits close to home is because one day when I was 25, at the time I was an investment banker working at a boutique firm, I left the job late because I also have an MBA, so I was studying for the GMAT, and so I'd leave work at like 11 o'clock. And so I went to the train station. I'd take the Long Island Railroad to my train station, which was Jamaica Station, and then I had to catch a cab. And in this part of New York and Queens, it's what they call gypsy cabs. So I see a cabbie who looks incredibly harmless. I mean, he's skinny, he's like in his 60s, he's South Asian, wearing a turban. I'm like, okay. So he asked me to sit in the front, which is not strange for gypsy cabs. So I sit in the front, thinking we're gonna have some conversation about like culture, politics. But then he starts talking about pornography in vivid detail and telling me that his penis is 11 inches long. And then he puts his hand on my thigh and says, so now what are we gonna do? And I'm like, oh, what are we gonna do? I cannot believe I'm in this situation. Now, I'd taken a class when I was an undergrad at Harvard called Women, Violence, and the Law. And in the class, I was told, if you ever find yourself in a situation of sexual violence, just start trying to jar the rapist. Just start, talking about yourself, saying, don't I look like your mother? So I start blabbing. My name's Amma, I'm 25 years old, just blabbing. And we're in this car, and he pulls over, and he says, I'm sorry. I thought that you were one of these 19-year-old black girls that I get to suck my dick for $5.
Oh.
So he was referring to the issue of sex trafficking, because unfortunately this is rampant, and in New York, in that area, many young girls are sex trafficked into these prostitution rings. And so he thought, despite the fact that I had a briefcase, and I was coming from being an investment banker, this is what he thought. And so now I'm gonna take off my storyteller hat and put on my legal educator hat. and I'm using federal law here. What is rape? What is sexual assault? Any person is subject to this chapter who commits a sexual act upon another person by force. You push someone down, you sexually commit a sexual act, that's rape, sexual assault, right? Threat of force. You say, hey, this is a gun. If you don't do this, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kidnap you. I'm going to harm you. It's rape, sexual assault. Rendering the person unconscious. You knock the person down. Now the person's unconscious. You engage in these acts. Rape, sexual assault. Administering by force or threat or without consent drugs. So this is someone putting a roofie in your drink, intoxicant, similar substance. The person is asleep or unconscious. So you didn't render the person unconscious. You just happened to come across a person unconscious, which I'm sure has happened in your dorm rooms, and then you proceed to commit a sexual act. Fraudulent representation of professional purpose. So this might be the case of a gynecologist who is claiming he's doing a fertility treatment, and this is no fertility treatment, and it's a sexual act. Under false pretense, so I'll give you a hypothetical about false pretense that the person is another person. Let's say John and Anna are dating. And John and Anna are in the room, they're in a bedroom, and then Anna leaves, and her best friend Lisa then comes in the dark and gets under the covers with John and engages in a sexual act. That falls under the rubric of rape and sexual assault. He thought he was an Anna. He didn't think he was with Lisa, so you can't trick people into sex, right? Now the victim is unable to consent due to age, being underage, mental disease, or defect or physical disability. So now, these are other definitions. We don't have time. I would go through it if I were doing a real training. Let's talk about how this is happening on your campus. So we're talking about the Vanderbilt rape case of 2013. On the gray, you have Mr. Beatty. In the blue, you have Mr. Vanderberg. Mr. Vanderberg goes to the Tin Roof, which is a nearby bar at his school, and he meets a girl there. He knows the girl. Some reports say they're dating, some reports say they just meet each other, whatever the case may be. He's buying her drinks. Okay, she starts vomiting. At some point, she's unconscious. They take her to his room. He brings, his friends are now with him. He brings in 3 other friends. What do they do to this young woman? This is a true case. They sodomize her with a water bottle while Mr. Vanderberg says, squeeze that shit. They urinate on her, penile penetration, but rubbing her body and taping all of it. They taped all of it. And Mr. Vanderberg was sending it around to his friends. Now, what happens when Vanderberg housing authorities go to investigate vandalism because they track the dorm room? They see the surveillance video and they give it to the police. So this is an example of what's happening on campuses. And I want all of you to say something, because we have the ability to change the situation. So after me, I want you to say, not on my watch. Not on my watch. All of you in this room are student activities coordinators. You have some influence to make sure that you're bringing in the type of programs to prevent this. So I really want us to be galvanized. I don't want us to just feel depressed. I've been depressed all week working on that monologue. I don't want that. I want us to feel empowered. So again, not on my watch. Not on my watch. So 20% of young women entering their second year of college have experienced attempted or completed incapacitated rape. So that's the unconscious or debilitated by drugs sort of situation that I was discussing before. 22% had experienced attempted or completed forcible rape. So they're not debilitated. Forcible rape. 3% of men in the United States have experienced it, and male college-age students are 78% more likely. So unfortunately, I speak in gendered pronouns very often, but it's important to know that this is an issue for both men and women. Okay, so now you're probably thinking, so what are we doing about this? I mean, this is crazy. So Title IX of the Higher Education Act prohibits discrimination based on gender. It's meant to promote gender access and equity. So now, please, if you know the name offhand of the Title IX coordinator at your school, please raise your hand. So I would say less than half are raising their hand. And you all are the leaders. So if you don't freaking know, who knows? You are the leaders. If you don't know who the coordinator is, who knows? These are some of your obligations. You must hire and publicize a Title IX coordinator. So the fact that many of you didn't raise your hands means it's clearly not being publicized well, right? Provide training to students, faculty, and staff. Make sure there's a fair and equitable process for allegations of sexual misconduct. Provide a safe, non-hostile environment for complainants. But unfortunately, for all of you who do not know, you are not alone. Why are you not alone? Because the Office of Civil Rights is currently investigating over 100 colleges and universities and over 40 districts for Title IX violations. And please look at this list, people. These are not like unknown schools that don't have money and resources. Of course, it's not the full list. Princeton University, Ohio State, Harvard, my alma mater, they are all on the list being investigated because students have come forward to say, my rights are being violated. Most of these people are rape survivors, and they are saying, my rights have been violated. This school is providing a hostile environment. So what should you be doing? Developing a plan, people. You need a cohesive and comprehensive strategy with respect to this issue. So you're hiring educators like me, attorneys, to do school-wide presentations. We're not expecting date rapists to just volunteer for a student activity about rape. Absolutely not. This has to be a mandatory training, at the very least for your freshman orientation. Your campus Title IX coordinator has to do a training. Why? Because my training does not include what's going on your campus. I can't tell them what health center to go to. I don't know where your health center is. I can't give that sort of campus-specific information, which is incredibly necessary. Sexologists, right? So we saw Dr. Shuey. She was talking about, making sure you're expressing how you want your salad toss, grocery munch, I don't know, but whatever it is, I don't know it, so don't call me for that type of information, right? Okay? Rape survivor advocates, you could bring in a long walk home, all right? But now I'm going to go back to my storyteller hat, because I think that part of this issue is about the stories we are telling ourselves, and my entire company and mission now is about making sure we are telling ourselves better stories. So Delta Kappa Epsilon was chanting on Yale campus, 2010, not 1920, 2010, they were chanting this line. No means no. Yes means anal. My name is Jack, I'm a necrophiliac. I F dead women and fill them with my semen. Can you imagine being a freshman in your dorm and hearing a group of men chanting this nonsense? Mike is going on. Nonsense, okay? So, this statement to me represents the horror of rape culture. Why? One, we have this idea of a male group believing that they are empowered when they are raping a woman in her most vulnerable, unconscious state. So that's one, okay? And there are books about this, return to gang rape, etc. Two, no means yes. So this goes to the idea that even though, I have to go, but my friends, you know the story. I'm at booth 99. I hope you all will remember that these are your bodies, you are autonomous over it, and that we can change this culture. Goodbye.